Welcome to this ClickShare take on the setup of your ClickShare Conference or ClickShare Present. I'll show you how easy it is to set up your device and how to configure it for best end-user experience. During that configuration, you'll be able to choose what firmware you want to deploy. And all of this is now possible without internet connectivity for those meeting rooms in build-up and for those high secure environments. So let's see what's in the box. In this video, we'll be using a ClickShare Conference CX-20 model. We have a base unit, the wall mount, a ClickShare button and a power adapter. So now we can hook up our base unit, first of all to internet with our Ethernet cable. Secondly, to the meeting room display with the HDMI connector. And lastly, to power. Of course, if your ClickShare is a ClickShare Conference, this is the moment you hook up the USB cable of the meeting room peripheral to the USB connector on the base unit. The power cable is connected, the base unit will start booting. As soon as that is done, the instructions to complete the setup are shown on screen. As you can see, the first step is to connect the base unit to the internet, but we already did this. All I have to do now is with my laptop connect the Wi-Fi to the base unit Wi-Fi, and we can see that the SSID is displayed there, as well as the password to use to connect. Let's go to our Wi-Fi's and select the one exposed by the base unit, and we can type in the password, which is shown there and by default is always ClickShare. We'll wait till we are connected to that Wi-Fi, and then we can start the ClickShare configuration wizard by surfing to 192.168.2.1 in our browser. We are asked to give the admin password, which by default is admin. And of course, we have to accept the EULA and privacy policy to start the wizard. So, we're on the welcome page for our configuration wizard, and at this point we can start this configuration to make sure that our meeting room is set up in the most user-friendly way. Our first step is to select the firmware or the update mechanism we want to use to stay up to date with that firmware. By default, it is set to automatic, meaning that anytime a new firmware is released by Barco, your device will automatically update. Of course, for this, you will need internet connectivity from your base unit. But you can also choose a firmware that you have downloaded on your computer and you can manually upload here. In our case, we'll just leave it to automatic. Next step is to change the language if needed and give our meeting room a name. Let's give it a user-friendly name so that users can easily recognize this meeting room. And we'll use meeting room Harvard in this case. We can add a location name and a welcome message that will be shown on the meeting room display whenever the display is not in use. On the next step, we have some system settings to set up, and the most important one is to choose the correct time zone. In this case, we're in Belgium, so we'll choose the Brussels-Copenhagen one. And we could set up an NTP server if we want to keep this up to date. The next step is setting up or choosing the right security level. We're making this really easy. It's just 3 levels. We'll leave it to the default one in this case, but you can of course opt for the most secure setup, which is level 3, in which case things like bring your own device services are blocked. The next step is required to change the password, the administration password. So here you will have to give up a new one and of course write it down for later reference. The network setup is the next step. Here again, you can change things like frequency or the channel Wi-Fi will be using, but Important to give the best user experience is to give an SSID that is easily recognizable, and we advise to use the same as the meeting room name. And of course broadcast that SSID. If you want to change the Wi-Fi passphrase, which was ClickShare, you can do so at this step as well. The last step in our wizard is to register for Smartcare. For this, you can surf to https://xms.cloud.barco.com/add, and you can use the device token shown here to register this base unit for Smartcare, giving you 5 years of coverage for your hardware and increased service levels when contacting support, access to XMS Cloud for management of your devices, and 5 years of analytics management on XMS Cloud as well. Once you go to the next step, you get an overview of the configurations and the settings you've chosen, and you are reminded to not forget to pair your button because of the changes you've made to that configuration. This is a required step. We finish the configuration, and the changes we've made will be applied to the base unit configuration. We repair the button and we're ready to start using ClickShare. As you can see, it's really easy to set up ClickShare in your meeting room. You connect the base unit to the meeting room display, the internet, and of course power, and you can start using it right away. Of course, for the best user experience, we advise you to run through the ClickShare configuration wizard and do the personalization, as well as the registration for Smartcare. That gives you the 5 years extended coverage. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next take.